My big sob story is that I was diagnosed with my first health condition, which is an autoimmune disorder,
What is
after
it?
my first pregnancy, Hashimotos.
Oh, I have that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. My dad and my brother do.
My mom has it.
Also, which is like not as common in men, but probably because nobody's looking for it. Yeah, so I was diagnosed with that, and I just had this like intuitive sense that I wasn't going to go to a conventional doctor, even though I had never, ever, done anything but dismiss alternative medicine. Like I was hardcore into the pharmaceutical model, very into science from that perspective.
Right.
And so but I knew that all they had to offer was Synthroid, and I had enough patients that never felt well on it. I put it into remission in the space of like a year. And my antibodies were like in the high 2000s. My TSH was like 20. And
What did you do to put it in remission?
So the same things I do with my patients. So I initially just changed my diet. So initially I just very simply at her recommendation, and I'm Italian. I grew up Italian. My mom's from Italy. And I ate cheese and bread of some variety like 5 times a day, literally for my whole life.
Right.
So the 2 things, of course, she asked me to take out were gluten and dairy.
Damn it.
So it was a very amazing transition. But my early win was that I started like pooping every day and hadn't ever done that in my whole life.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. These things
That's big.
matter. And so I was like, wow, she must be onto something. And then later I layered in other stuff.
Were you eating a lot of vegetables at the time?
No. I think it was more about what I took out at that point than like what I put in. But when I saw the change on paper, I was like, this is not even supposed to be possible. This is literally not even, we're not even taught that this is possible, let alone that it has anything, that putting autoimmune conditions into remission has anything to do with diet.
Right.
And so I was really indignant. And I've always been a science nut. I've always spent Saturday, like a good 4 hours every Saturday on PubMed. Of course, I'm looking at different stuff over time, but I went to PubMed and I was like, what else didn't I learn? And I was like on an obsessive rampage for like a good couple years. And that's when I just turned over every stone, like everything, every sacred cow, whether all these meds we were talking about, like, statins or acid blockers or antibiotics. Then I got onto psych meds, and then I started to look at the science supporting a very different kind of perspective on, this interconnected model and the gut microbiome and, sort of the impact of belief on our, biology, that we can sort of like reprogram our hardware, with our software, which is like, we're the only species that can really do that, that we can literally change.
Through meditation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
change
also
the way
through
your brain interacts with your body.
And then you
it changes
change
the
your
health of the
body.
body.
You literally
Yeah.
change your body. So
Like, what did you do to do that? Like, what methods?
So I was very reluctant to meditate. I was an atheist like a belligerent, sort of like Dawkins level atheist, my whole life, because I was a science worshiper. And I was like, well, spirituality and religion is for like weak people who like need to believe in some fairy tale to make them feel better about.
Typical New Yorker. Yeah. New York liberal coming at you. New York liberal scientist.
Exactly. Well, it's scientism, right?
Right.
It literally is the church of science. And so, when I had this crisis of faith, so to speak, like I was lost for a long time because science had sort of, or what I believed had sort of failed me in some ways. And then I didn't have, I don't know what, the readiness to start meditating or find out what, people were talking about when it came to spirituality. Although I followed the literature. So like I read the literature on meditation and epigenetic expression for years and years and years. And I used to tell my patients to do it.
But you didn't do it.
But I didn't do it.
Huh. What held you back?
Because I liked feeling stressed out.
Ah,
Yeah. Well,
that's so honest.
When you don't do something, you're not doing it because you like actually being sick. You like how you're feeling. You're invested in it.
Is it that you like, or that you're addicted
You're
to the
familiar
weirdness
with it. Yeah.
with it?
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
And the unknown. For some of my patients, the meditation piece is the last part because they know it's going to be the game changer, and they're not ready for everything to just be totally reconfigured. They're not ready for that level of transformation.